Hey man, you already know what it is. Great Man of God Media TV back with another reaction video. This time we got Dr. Umar Johnson apparently has something to say about Kendrick Lamar's Song of the Year. Not Song of the Summer, Song of the Year, Not Like Us. He has something to say, and apparently he thinks that Kendrick Lamar should explain himself on what he means by not like us. So I'm actually going to play this clip, give you guys my commentary and reaction. Here we go.
From Toronto, Canada. Shout out to brother Alex and my other brother who came down from Canada to interview the Prince of Pan-Africanism yesterday before the Source of Knowledge book giveaway. And one of the concerns that they brought up to me as a Pan-Africanist, as the leading Pan-Africanist, as the...
Who made you a Pan-Africanist besides yourself, bro? Like, this is the most narcissistic personality disorders that you can find on full display that should be studied in the halls of Harvard, in the halls of Yale. This classic case of narcissistic personality disorder is what you're seeing right now. Like, calling yourself the third person, the prince or the king of Pan-Africanism, who named you that, bro, besides yourself? You're supposed to be given that title by somebody else. And apparently that somebody else is you, unless you just have, well, I can imagine this guy has multiple personalities because he's so full of himself. But nonetheless, let's continue, bro.
The Prince of Pan-Africanism. They said, Dr. Umar, and I'm paraphrasing, the good brothers brought it to my attention that Kendrick Lamar's song, They Not Like Us, was interpreted by many American Africans to mean that African Canadians are not African, that African Canadians are not African, that African Canadians are not African. Let me say this to the entire African diaspora. Let me say this to the American African and the Canadian African. Let me say this to the American African and the Canadian African. Let me say this to the American African and the Canadian African. We are one people. We are one family. We have one common ancestry. We have one common origin. We have one common source. We are the original people. My American Africans, don't you alienate yourself from Canadian Africans. Canadian Africans, don't you alienate yourself from the American African. We are one family. We are the North American Africans. I said, if you are a Mexican African, a North American African, or a Canadian African, we are collectively the North American Africans. United we stand, divided we fall. My Canadian brothers and sisters, they are my family. Toronto is my family. Montreal is my family. And if anybody tries to make jokes about the Canadian Africans, if anybody tries to say that my brothers and sisters north of the border are not members of the African family, if anybody tries to claim that the Canadian African is not a part, an integral part, an important part of the body of African people, then you are an enemy to Dr. Umar, and you are an enemy to African people, and you are an enemy of the Pan-African struggle. Now, I don't know if my brother Kendrick Lamar, who I love and respect, I don't know if my brother Kendrick Lamar, who I love and respect, I don't know if my brother Kendrick Lamar intended to alienate all African Canadians, all Canadian Africans. I did not think that was his intent. I did not think that that was Kendrick Lamar's intent.
This dude repeats himself so many goddamn times, bro. I'm just... Oh my God. Let me ask you something, Dr. Umar Johnson. I've interviewed you over 10 years ago, 2013, where you were asking for donations for this quote unquote Pan-African school that till this day has not been officially launched. So let me ask you, all of these quote unquote donations that you've taken over the years, are they under the same umbrella as far as Zelle, CashApp, Venmo, Cash itself? Are all of these particular donations, can they be found under one umbrella? Like you're talking about, oh, the Canadian Africans is the same as the African Americans, bro. First of all, again, Not Like Us has nothing to do with race. You're making everything about race. It has nothing to do with race. It's about culture. Culture. Why? Drake was raised Jewish. Yes, he has a black father and he has a Jewish mother, but his culture was raised in the Jewish community. Drake was never like us. Even though his father's black, he doesn't know what it's like to actually grow up in black society because he grew up in an affluent Canadian community. And it shows because he's actually trying to make it for lost time as of today, which is why he continues to cosplay and colonize black culture, right? Our culture. It's a cultural thing because there's no way in hell that Drake can do the things that Kendrick Lamar does on the West Coast. He can't do a pop-out concert, Ken and Friends, and bring out all the West Coast artists. Where are the artists in Canada that he can bring out and cultivate? Can he do that? Absolutely not. Where is his version of Tommy the Clown? The guy who invented Crump. Way years ago. Y'all look up the movie, the documentary called Rise, R-I-Z-E. It came out, I believe, 2005. Inspiring, powerful, prolific documentary, bro. Y'all gotta look that up. R-I-Z-E, Rise, featuring Tommy the Clown. The cultural impact of Not Like Us from the aspect of culture, West Coast culture, it can't be duplicated because there's no way you can have a West Coast sound, the way we dress, the way we talk, gang culture, right? Lowriders, fashion, all of that shit is West Coast. That's something that that Drake can't duplicate in Canada because he doesn't have our culture. I don't even know what a Canadian culture is besides poutines. If y'all know about Canadian food, the only thing I know about Canadian food besides New Ho King, which is actually not really Canadian food, is Chinese food. But authentic Canadian food, I know about poutines, and I'm forgetting other ones, but poutines is actually pretty decent. But outside of food culture, what do y'all have that's really well known about Canada, right? I just listed all the things from the West Coast that we have. Things that are replicated worldwide from a cultural perspective. People want to talk, dress like us, act like us. Fashion, music, sound, dance, sports. We produce some of the top athletes in the world when it comes to Cali. That's why DeMar DeRozan was in Not Like Us. He's from Compton. You know what I'm saying? Me, 15821 Tarrant Avenue, Compton, California. Born and raised. So it's a cultural thing. But again, where's your school, bro? Where's your school at? Over 10 years of raising money and no school has launched yet. Which, when I should say yet, it'll never launch. Still doing videos out of a trunk of a car, talking about Pan-African this, Pan-African that, making things about, just projecting things about a topic that you usurped yourself in that has nothing to do with what you think it is. Like I said, it's not about race. It's about cultural impact. Our culture. For us, by us, but it's a cultural thing. Sure, blacks are the ones that actually invented or were the ones that were the progenitors of the hip hop scene in the West Coast, but it's still a cultural thing. It embodies black, white, right? Asian, Latinos. It embodies all of that. That is the culture of the West Coast. It is a melting pot. Not Like Us is our culture. Canadian culture is completely different. It's for them, whatever that is. So
I did not think that that was Kendrick Lamar's intent. I believe Kendrick Lamar was simply going at Drake for the beef. I did not think that the song They Not Like Us was a shot at all African Canadians. So I'm going to ask my brother Kendrick Lamar, can you please clear that up? I'm going to ask my brother Kendrick Lamar, can you please clear that up? I'm going to ask my brother Kendrick Lamar, can you please clear that up?
Is this nigga a DJ? He keep repeating himself, bro. Is he a broken record? That shit is annoying. Can you please clear that up? I'm going to ask my brother Kendrick Lamar, can you please clear that up? I'm going to ask my brother Kendrick Lamar, can you... Come on, bro.
Did you intend to slight all Canadian Africans when you said they not like us? Are you trying to say that Canadian Africans are different from American Africans? I don't believe Kendrick Lamar was trying to say that. I don't believe Kendrick Lamar was trying to say that. I don't believe Kendrick Lamar was trying to say that. God. But I do want my brother Kendrick to clarify, because according to my good brother Alex and my other brother from Toronto who interviewed me yesterday, according to them, many American Africans are insulting Canadian Africans. Many American Africans are going on the blogs with the Drake-Kendrick beef, and you are attacking and insulting Canadian Africans. I will not stand for that. I will not stand for that. No African should ever be the enemy of another African. United we stand, divided we fall. I stand in solidarity with Canada. I stand in solidarity with Black Canada. Those are my brothers and sisters. And I will see y'all October 5th and October 6th.
Yeah, Dr. Umar Johnson has zero self-awareness. Where in the video, the visuals of Not Like Us doesn't mean anything about Canadians or the lack of Black Canadians being the outcast of Canada. The visuals, the video for Not Like Us has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Canadian Africans or whatever you want to call it. Just zero self-awareness, bro. Like, has nothing to do with it trying to usurp race into this concept of the song Not Like Us. Has absolutely nothing to do with race. Again, it's about culture. Drake grew up in a Jewish community, Jewish household. That's what he knows. That's what he falls back in. Kendrick is West Coast to a T. The cultural impact of the West Coast that influence hip hop today is second to none. There's no other, in my opinion, there's no other coast that's more influential than the West Coast. People want to dress like us, talk like us, rap like us, drive cars like us, lowriders, dance like us. Like, we are very influential when it comes to this. So there's nothing that Canada can do in terms of their culture that is more influential than the West Coast. Simple as that. So those are my reaction, my thoughts on Dr. Umar Johnson. Once again, you have no school. I'm not even sure as to why you care about what Kendrick Lamar has to say or has to explain himself, because he clearly doesn't. And when you put it on a large scale, Not Like Us, like I said, is about culture, but actually it is also bringing awareness to that it's a canvas to what you perceive Not Like Us can be, right? Have your own interpretation, but actually make it logical. But what he said right there was illogical. Made absolutely no sense, because he always tries to insert race into the conversation. And Not Like Us has absolutely nothing to do with race. Again, Dr. Umar, where's your school at, bro? I interviewed you over 10 years ago, and you're still asking for donation. The school hasn't launched yet. And yeah, man. It is what it is. Those are my thoughts on that, family. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. My CashApp is right there. $, $GMOGFitness, family. I need this channel to grow and to get to 10,000 subscribers. Till next time, family, signing out. Peace.